This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From custom domains to beautiful websites using their easily customizable templates that you can have up and running in minutes, e-commerce, email and email marketing, SEO, analytics, and scheduling, Squarespace does it all and has done it for us for the last 6 years. If you are a small to mid-sized business in any industry, Squarespace is the place to go for all of your website needs. Hop over to www.squarespace.com/Hugh for a free trial. And if you like what you see and want to move forward, receive 10% off your first order by using the discount code Hugh at checkout. Thanks, Squarespace. Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and I will keep this short. When I first got my hands on Sony's just announced $1,100 420-gram 16-25 2.8, I loved the combination of small-sized, lightweight, G-Master-like controls and feel in hand. And I was blown away by the images I saw through the 9.44 million EVF of my A7R5 while roaming the streets of New York with Claudia just a few days ago. That Sony sharpness and pop at those fields of view, wow. Perfect for urban landscape, my jam. Forget about the reduction in size, weight, and cost compared to a classic 16-35. Once I was back here in the Batcave, a quick perusal of the first few images on these two screens confirmed what I'd seen out on the street. Even when I looked carefully across the frames at high magnification, because my ambition for urban landscape in particular is to make very large prints and invite people to explore them at closer than normal viewing distances to see and feel the textures of the city. The chromatic aberration I did see was well corrected, especially for a lens of this field of view at this price point. The lens profile baked into the raw images doing its job. Recognized to my surprise by Lightroom CC, even ahead of the embargo lift, the images amenable to minor improvement with additional manual adjustment. Distortion, however, was another story, depending on the image. It came down to this. For urban landscape shots where architecture and geometry play critical roles, I did not need to pixel peep at all to see an unsettling amount of distortion, even with that baked-in profile, and no amount of manual adjustment I tried could get to where the frame told me it needed to be. If I tried to correct in one part of the frame, I'd pay for it somewhere else in the frame. Now, this was a pre-production lens. Sony may be able to improve the profile. I am certainly not an Adobe Jedi master, and I know I am often a statistical outlier, especially when it comes to my standards for glass. But, 1. Neither Claudia nor I noticed this issue in the 24-50 2.8. 2. I didn't see this issue with the Sony 16-35 2.8 G-Master 2 I tested back in the summer of 2023. 3. No 24-70 2.8 zoom lens I've tested, like Sigma's $1,100 DGDN Art or our own Sony G-Master Mark II, has had distortion like this. 4. I have evaluated a prime or 3 at the bottom, top, and middle ranges of the 16-25 that didn't have this level of distortion and didn't cost as much as the 16-25, which you might expect for prime lenses. 5. Then again, the prime lenses I own that don't have this problem cost between 2 and 4 times as much as the 16-25. Although, of course, none of them have this particularly useful combination of focal range, speed, and autofocus performance. All of which, I told you I'd be quick, leaves us here for now. I like the concept of this lens. I like the theoretical set of trade-offs Sony has made to bring it to market, better than I do the set of trade-offs Sony's $2,300 547-gram G Master Mark II. In fact, I think a 16-25 constant aperture 2.8, again, in theory, makes a better holy trinity zoom at the wide end than any 16-35, and I think it should become a staple copied by just about every other manufacturer out there because it makes a whole lot of sense, especially in this era of high-resolution sensors. The 16-25's size, weight, and price advantages over a 16-35 2.8 come primarily from the fact that it basically does not duplicate the 24-35 millimeter fields of view overlap of what would be the next step up in coverage in a Holy Trinity standard zoom kit, like the 24-70 2.8 GM2 I just mentioned, or the not yet shipping 24-50 2.8. Maybe this is why I've never been able to bond with a 16-35, preferring instead a single, very wide prime to complement a 24-70, like a 20 or 18. Less expensive, smaller, lighter, better at its chosen focal length. Sony does a good job with their 21.8, for example. Sigma does a great job, I think, with their 17f4, 20f2 I-series, their 21.4 DGDN art, although much bigger, definitely the way to go in low-light situations like chapels if you're a wedding photographer. These size, weight, image quality, and price advantages matter to us because A, schlepping gear on the streets of New York, London, Paris, Berlin, or Tokyo is a 6th-level pain in the B, anything we can do to reduce that burden is welcome. C, I want the best image quality possible at the price point and schlep level I'm willing to tolerate. And D, I am getting a bit tired of watching my wallet spontaneously combust each time I buy a truly great piece of kit. Although, seeing the results of a truly great, if big and heavy lens, my shoulders are back sore after hours schlepping them, makes the pain subside like a shot of adrenaline mixed with a couple of 4-hour extra-strength Tylenol caplets. In fact, were distortion not an issue, let me repeat that. If distortion were not an issue, were I to start with Sony now, even if I were an event photographer, I'd likely build a system around an A7R5 or A7CR, probably starting with a 51.4, either Sony's G Master or Sigma's DGDN Art, possibly Sigma's 50mm f2, for their general purpose field of view, low light performance, shallower depth of field, and superb image quality compared to a 35 or wider. Go with the 16-25 at the wide end for environmental portrait or urban landscape work. And then go straight to Sony's or Sigma's 70-200 2.8 for urban landscape at the long end. Compression for that urban landscape, even more flattering portraits, getting close in where zooming with my feet would be infeasible. And then using the sensor's 60 megapixels to plug the field of view holes in between. But until, or unless this distortion issue is sorted for me, it is not the lens I'd recommend for critical architectural or urban landscape work, which, in my case, is the only reason to go this wide in the first place. Then again, that's just me. Your mileage may vary, and as always, that's just fine. If what and how I shoot isn't what you shoot, but you do need a field of view this wide, you really ought to take a look at this lens. It just might be all that in a bag of potato chips for you. Yeah. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From custom domains to beautiful websites using their easily customizable templates that you can have up and running in minutes, e-commerce, email and email marketing, SEO, analytics, and scheduling, Squarespace does it all and has done it for us for the last 6 years. If you are a small to mid-sized business in any industry, Squarespace is the place to go for all of your website needs. Hop over to www.squarespace.com/Hugh for a free trial. And if you like what you see and want to move forward, receive 10% off your first order by using the discount code Hugh at checkout. Thanks, Squarespace. If you like what you've seen here today, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, join the conversation in the comment section below because this is an exceptional audience. If you'd like help with a portfolio review, gear selection, finding or honing your artistic voice, sign up for a one-on-one mentoring video called via Zoom at 3bmep.com/booking. Finally, please consider supporting our work by using the no-cost-to-you affiliate links down below, sending us coffee money via PayPal, or most especially, joining us on Patreon, links down below as well. However you choose to support us, as always, we thank you for it.